what it is. Wow, this country music is amazing. This is Tyrus in for Will Cain. And that's right. Do not adjust your screens or adjust your volumes. Might have to turn it down just a scotch because I think my voice is a little deeper. No disrespect. Again, thank you for Will for having the confidence to bring me on. And we're just going to jump right into it. I'm excited about our guest today. My favorite chef, absolute favorite chef, not just because I've done the Gutfeld show with him umpteen times. And not that him and I need to have a chicken dinner one day or a chicken meal perhaps named after me at his very successful restaurants. And then, of course, he's overshadowed today because he has his wife on with him. So this is, but I noticed you're sitting a little closer to the screen. Gruel, what are you doing? Back up. That's right.
No, it's all weird. It's like,
what's it feel close to you, Tyrus?
That's
true. Okay. Well, you know what? We kind of bonded. He's been doing the show at a high level. I think he's one of our most popular guests. So congratulations. And now you can steal the light from him a little bit, and that's fine because my wife does it to me all the time. So let's just get it. First of all, how are you guys doing? What's going on? You're city councilman, right? Correct? Or running? Or
that
you
is
are?
True. I'm currently a city councilman. I'm running in 2026. And Lauren is a Parks and Library commissioner as well for the city.
Libraries is where I got my brain from. So mad respect. I spent a lot of times after school in the libraries. So a lot of book reading. So, okay, you're a chef, you're a contributor. You got a lot of C's in your life, and you're how are you juggling it all before we get into some fun stuff?
Honestly, it's day by day. I mean, we figure it out. We do everything together. Lauren's also a trained chef. She runs the restaurants with me. So like where I'm out, she's plugging in. When she's out, I'm plugging in. Sometimes we're like, oh shoot, where are the kids? They're on the side of the road. We remember, but they're getting thick skin. So we get the kids in the restaurants too. It's honestly just like an evolving, metamorphosizing amoeba, but we still get it all done.
All right. Yeah. You know what? I know we have some stories going to do, but I'm putting them on the side. How'd you guys meet? This is cool. I'm meeting your wife for the first time. How did you guys meet?
Okay, so he will say it's through Instagram. That is partially true.
Okay.
So I was in culinary school, and a friend of mine said, "Oh my God, I just interviewed this up and coming chef in the area. You have to meet him." And I swore off dating. I had just broken up with a boyfriend. I was like, no. And then I saw his picture, and I was like, oh wow, okay, that is going to be my husband. And she's like, you're crazy. I'm like, mark my words, I'm marrying that guy.
Wow.
And so I followed him on Instagram, and this was before DMs. So he followed me back and then gave me his email on one of my comments.
On a comment thread.
On a comment thread. So you didn't care. You put it out. You went for it.
I went
unabashedly. Let the world see me be denied. I don't care.
And I was like, shoot me an email. Does it get more eloquent than that?
You were cool. Was your hair longer then? Were you a rebel? Did you have the
No,
beard?
I actually had like spikier hair. I think I looked like a mix of like Lisa Loeb and Melissa Etheridge at the time.
That's right. You've said that several times on Gutfeld. You've really got to keep.
There's
writing.
A little poof going on. There's a
little something. And okay, yeah. So how was the first?
And it was
date?
6 weeks later. 6 weeks later, we got married.
6 weeks later.
Yes.
You didn't even have time to remember each other's full name.
Okay, you want to hear something hilarious? I
would love to, because you know what though? I can't talk too much because like when I met my wife, we went on like one date and then we were never apart after that. So I get it, but like you got married in 6 weeks. Like that's 6 weeks.
It was crazy. So we went to
I'm doing the math. That's not 2 months, right?
No, it's not even 2 months.
That's a month and 2 weeks.
Yes.
You guys got married 2 weeks longer than Black History Month. Wow, that's amazing.
So we went to Hawaii, and this is how little I knew him. He's on his phone. I'm getting mad. I go, gosh, I'm like, this guy's so rude. He's been on his phone the entire day.
You know what? I've seen that behavior as well, and it bothers me.
And I'm like, why are you on your phone? We're in Hawaii. He goes, oh, it's my birthday. And I was like, oh my God. Literally proposed to me the next day. I had just found out it was his birthday.
You learned his birthday, and then the next day was the rest of your life.
Exactly.
So now you have no excuse. Have you ever forgot his birthday?
Never.
Do you give him the same level? Now, let's play again. I wish I could have headphones where like he couldn't listen while I asked you a question. and then I'll ask him a question. Let me put it together like the old Newlywed Game. But do your birthday gifts match his birthday gifts?
Ooh.
That means no. That's
His
wife
are
for
better.
no.
Because he doesn't need anything.
No, of course not. No, why would he need a surprise in his life?
I did do a nice surprise though for his 40th birthday.
That was nice.
Oh,
So,
okay. Well, please share.
well, it was during COVID, unfortunately, but I got all of his friends and his family from around the world to send in video clips, and we did like a montage, and it was super fun and sweet, and his parents were in it, and his niece, everybody we know. So that was awesome. Did you like that?
Yeah, I still gotta watch that. So that was
Yeah.
All right. So what's the best gift he ever gave you on your birthday?
It was my 30, how old was I turning? 33. I
So
think 33.
smart you didn't
34.
answer. Nice job.
And we went down to Oceanside, and we were just going to stay at this nice hotel with a friend of ours and our kids. And I go into the lobby, and my brother's there, my sister, and my nieces and nephews, and he had flown in everybody to celebrate me. So that was super nice.
Wow, big spender. Must be all those fancy meals. So
I use my miles.
I conservative. Of course you did. So when did you guys get in? Because it's not an easy thing. Like I run a business. Well, my wife runs a business that I'm involved in. But was it something that naturally occurred for you guys to go into business together? Because that's not always a good recipe for success when you're with you and your wife or a family member or even a friend go into business together. Was it something that just kind of happened, or was it something you guys decided together?
She was towards the end of culinary school, and she had a business sense to begin with. She'd been working, and I said, you know what? The heck with culinary school. Just come in and run the restaurants with me, and I'll teach you everything you need to know. And like thrust her into the restaurant. Said, hey everyone, this is the restaurants, right?
Restaurants, yes, not restaurant. Restaurants, fancy, yes.
Well, that's important to mention because that's a totally different undertaking. One restaurant, it's kind of like you go through the checklist day by day. Multiple restaurants and franchisors, franchisees. So it's like, hey, everyone, here's my new wife. Oh, and by the way, she's also co-owner and calling the shots. So she just jumped right in.
I didn't want to at first. I said, no, are you sure? Should we work together? Like, he's like, yes.
Because you're going to be together all the time.
Exactly.
That's the point.
And then, so it was so funny. We went out one night, and I was very responsible, right? We go out one night.
At least one of you is. Thank you.
And he's like, he goes, don't go to work. And I said, I have to go to work. Like, I can't not show up. And he's like, please just work with me. And I was like, fine. And I text my boss, I'm not coming in. Sorry.
He made you quit on the spot? Boy, you must have
Not
known.
true. I told her to use her sick day.
No,
I told her.
No, I had used all my sick days for all of our travels.
Look, I'm telling you, you avoided a disaster. Because could you just imagine? You make your wife leave school, you make her quit her job, and it will never happen. But let's say the restaurant went south. I would not want to be you for that conversation at the dinner table every time you have an argument for the rest of your life. Would have been awful. So, but I cannot wait till I get the Gruel experience at the restaurant. I've always heard great things about it. People always talk about the amazing food, the atmosphere. It's very like you don't want to go there with dirt on your fingernails. It's very nice, clean eating experience, and I'm all for a positive eating experience. Now, where are your restaurants at? It's like for someone who's planning a vacation or lives in the area, where can they find your restaurants?
So there's right now one flagship restaurant because in 2022, we sold all the restaurants. We sold all of our biggest concept that was a large multi-unit group. And I should mention too, we said we will never open another restaurant again. And then 48 hours later, we signed a lease on this space. And it is in Huntington Beach, California, right on the Pacific Coast Highway. So
all the things, you wear a lot of hats, but cooking is your passion because you just can't stay away from it. Because you're building a successful TV career. You're doing things in politics. So it is, can you ever imagine a life where you guys weren't, because cooking is an art form. It is an art form. And as a chef, it's how you you make people eat your art, so they don't get to hang it on the wall. The nice thing is, I'm sure that your artwork is in Facebook pictures all over the country. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but is it something that you think you could never not do?
Correct. At the end of the day, like, this is something we say, oh, we're going to retire and then we'll just totally, unplug and no one will ever hear from us again. And we'll have a nice restaurant and it's like, wait. We said retire, but like, it's just always part of it, right? It's built into the programming, cooking. And then one of the questions and kind of cliche questions we get all the time is like, oh, after a day of working in a restaurant and cooking, you must just go home and eat cereal, or, you do takeout.
I was not going to ask you that because I know you would not do that.
It's quite the opposite. Like, that's the thing. Funny thing is, we get home and a lot of times it's like, then we have a huge meal plan and then we're arm wrestling over who's cooking for the family. So
do you guys have cooking showdowns? Do you have cooking battles, mom versus dad?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Who's the king or queen of breakfast?
It's a tough one.
It's tough.
Probably Lauren, because she's the morning person, so I'll be up until like 1 or 2 in the morning, and then she'll be up at 5 a.m.
Who holds the spatula at the barbecue?
That's me.
Well, that's a man thing. Even if she was a better cook, you got to give the man the barbecue. Like, it's what we judge ourselves by. I won't let, like, if someone came over to my house and I was barbecuing and they came over and say, hey, you want me to flip something? I would ask them to leave. Like, you do not, that is sacred. He's the same way. Yeah, no, it's a man thing. You don't have to be an accoutrement, charcuterie board, world famous chef to want to own the barbecue. That's primal. That's from our ancestors. That's just a man thing. That's like territory. You don't besmirch the barbecue pit. And then, okay, holiday dinners. Who does the Thanksgiving turkey? Who's in charge of all that?
That's me.
Okay.
That's me. But she was baking and pastry focused, so she'll do like.
So she makes some bomb ass desserts then.
I do, and guess what? I make a great pumpkin pie, and guess who hates pumpkin pie?
Well, thanks for coming on, sir. If you could just slide off the screen, that would be great. You commie. What's wrong with pumpkin pie? Next thing you say, you don't like sweet potato pie?
Well, first of all, pumpkin to me just tastes, it's bland. It's rich, but it's bland. But I don't like pie in general from a geometric perspective, right? Like, I want it to bite. I don't want a little bit of the crust falling off. And then the wider it gets in the slice, that's why if I did have pumpkin pie, I'd take a little square from the very center.
Yeah, because you're selfish. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
All the goodness goes to you. Yeah, that's lemon meringue pie is my favorite pie. But I can honestly say I've never met a pie I didn't really like. Let's just going to put it out there. Pies, I would rather have a pie on my birthday than a cake. Like, lemon meringue pie is my all-time favorite. And I'll settle for a key lime pie, but lemon meringue pie is my all-time favorite. Oh, then there's pecan pie. Or I guess if you're fancy, you say pecan. My wife says pecan, I say pecan. So whatever that means. Then there's the only one I had some trouble with was mincemeat, but it was a pie, so I got through it anyways.
Yeah, he doesn't like pie. He doesn't like cheesecake. He doesn't like Oreos.
I don't like cheesecake. I don't like
cheesecake because it's a pie. How can you call it pumpkin pie and cheesecake? Because essentially it's just a thicker pumpkin pie without the pumpkin.
And it's cheese. I don't want cheese in my pie. I just Cheesecake Factory will never run out of a cheesecake if I'm around. Like, I do not do cheesecake. I detest it. The smell of it. I'm with you on that one. And even though I feel you're a little out of touch with your disrespect for pies, and let that go. Speaking, I want to do one little story with you because I think you're going to agree with me. So the Kim Kardashian, right? She's in trouble, right? All the things that you could be mad at Kim Kardashian for, they're mad at her because she didn't know how much a carton of milk cost and said that she was out of touch with the real world.
First of all, do you call it a carton?
No.
Nobody calls it a carton of milk.
It used to be a carton when they had the missing kid on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
From your
and then nobody wanted to have a sad ass breakfast looking at somebody lost. So we went back to the gallon because you cannot put a gallon. And we had it better than those Canadians who literally put their milk in a bag and then they cut the top of it. Like, I've traveled the world. I've had milk in all the finest lands, and Canada is not the top of the list. But no, it's a gallon of milk. But she's a 100 millionaire. I think she has a guy for that.
Well, I will say this, right? If you had asked any of the other 100 millionaires out there, they would pretend like they knew it and as if they went to the grocery store and they were shopping for it themselves. At least give her credit for just being like, I'm rich. I have no
Yeah,
idea.
no, and I don't think she drinks milk. Like,
No, she definitely doesn't drink milk.
no,
Well,
at least not cow milk.
No.
You know,
Yeah.
probably ocelot milk from some rare island. You
Yeah.
know, or like she paid to have some extinct animal brought back just for milking purposes. That's the type of things I would do with that kind of money. Maybe that's why I don't have it. Or no, I'm a horse dad. That's why I don't have money. But I just feel like these are not real issues that people are getting worked up about. And we're seeing a lot of it now, right? We're seeing, and it also ties into something like everyone keeps going crazy about AOC, right? And I don't get it. I don't understand why we talk about AOC so much. And she says things like, I want to talk about real issues like air that's drinkable. Listen
That
to
was
this.
the greatest quote.
Yes, listen to this.
That was phenomenal.
That,
But
instead of
so
talking
Check
about
this.
real
I even have a
issues that
clip.
affect
Let me
our
roll my
lives.
clip.
Instead of talking
I'm
about
trying to
health-
impress Will and his team. Chef, you're not going to take over this cooking show today. Roll
talking
that beautiful
about that
footage.
instead of talking about real issues that affect our lives. Instead of talking about healthcare, instead of talking about wages, instead of talking about having air that's drinkable.
That's why I don't worry about AOC. Like the only people who should worry about AOC is the people in her district, those poor bastards that live in her district. Agree? Like, why do they act like she has this world, like the media plays like her decisions affect us? They don't. She's one vote.
At all.
Yeah.
I think she just has great sound bites like that.
yeah.
Like the air is
Air that's drinkable.
Yeah.
I can hear the song now. All I need is the air that I can drink and to
See,
love you.
Here's my take on this quote, though. I think that AOC, she has a little bit of a leaky brain. And I'm not saying that as an insult. Many of us do, right?
Right.
I think that she's young. She's on social media all the time. Like things come in and they slip out. I think she was sitting in a meeting and they were talking about taxing the air and all in like some Democrat convention. And then she distilled that into this quote accidentally. So get ready for them to tax the air and sell us the straw.
But when you're in your position, you take it very seriously. That you're not the same guy right now that you'd be on TV. You're prepared. You would not speak to your constituents without being prepared. You wouldn't say something so obnoxiously ignorant to say drinkable air and that's the thing is like, she's not even trying. They're just winging it. And I feel like when you see people who talk like that, that should only further let you know that you misplayed your vote terribly. I cannot think of any even on a TV show, if I was talking to you, if I was not prepared, and even though literally your name is Chef Gruel, and I talked to you about what's it like being a foreman on construction, how long would you stay in that interview with me where I'm like, so what's it like with 2x4s? What's that like for you? You know, you'd be like, I'm a chef. Oh, I don't believe that's accurate. And then if you call me on again, I'd be like, you know what? You're racist.
You know, that's a good point, actually. And I have like spoken at council meetings,
Yes.
and I'll myself saying the wrong thing and immediately correct myself and laugh about it. Like, oh, so that's a really good point. Why didn't she think, oh, I didn't mean drinking the air. That's so silly. How could I say that? That's hilarious. Instead, she just kept rolling with it.
Because she's trying to remember the talking point that she's supposed to speak. Nothing comes from them. Because she probably misread it. Like she probably mismemorized it. You know? It's like Ron Burgundy. They rolled the wrong thing on the teleprompter. So instead of saying F you, San Diego, she said air is drinkable, which unless you're a fish in the water, that's accurate. I don't know. Maybe she wants us all to live underwater. Maybe there's a utopia. Maybe she found Atlantis. You know, like this is what bothers me about town halls and the media. If I was there, I would have raised my hand and said, when it comes to drinkable air, how so? Like, please explain more. How are you going to make this happen? And they never do. They just let them say it. And then we're the weirdos for bringing it up.
Well, then it's Republicans pounce.
Right. And even it's just we don't understand. I want to understand, you know, because here's a perfect example. You take an AOC who's just nonsense and never saw a camera she didn't like. And to me, I don't see how many laws has she passed since she's been in. I think I can tell you that one, goose egg. So apparently the job is to try to just get reelected or move on. That's at least my opinion. That's how it looks to me. Then you have a guy like Senator Fetterman who talks about common sense issues and roll this clip. Listen to this.
You know, I campaigned for thousands and thousands of miles across Pennsylvania for Vice President Harris. And it was going to be incredibly difficult. You could just feel the energy there. And people really have connected there at a very fundamental level. And that's what I tried to explain to my party. And I'm trying to explain to the party right now. It's like, this is why we lost. And this is where we need to be to continue to win for these things. And there are parts of extreme things emerging clearly on those things. And that's why I refuse to follow that, even if that is going to cost me support in parts of the base.
You know, what's crazy to me, Chef, is that this man has just survived a stroke, yet he makes more sense, speaks more clearer than pretty much anyone in the Democratic Party right now. And all he's doing is pushing common sense, right? I mean, you don't have to be a Democrat to respect what he says.
That's totally true. And I feel like the left has gone so far left that like anybody who still agrees with them, they're crazy. They're the crazy one.
I think it's interesting that Fetterman, that's how the Overton window is shifted. Fetterman now people are attacking as being somewhat seemingly conservative when
he's a Republican now because he just wants to get. There's the thing. We used to, in this country, when the other side won, it was if the Democrats win, it's the Republicans' job to work with them. Like every president, the first 100 days, it should be whatever you want. You won. You had the better message. The American people picked you. So these 100 days, whatever you're trying to get in, it should be universally respected and voted for. I think that should be set the tone. You don't have to agree with what the thing was, but the people spoke. And I feel like they do a really good job of making the people sound irrelevant, because they attack, like they're like, oh, Trump's border policies. He got voted in because of one of the many reasons, but was because of his stance on the border. Was his stance on bringing law and order back to this country. And the fact that the AOC can't see that she's acting like the people who voted overwhelmingly, they didn't know what they're talking about. It's almost like an elitist, narcissistic kind of way of governing, to where they just can say whatever nonsense because they're not going to work. So it's same thing with the shutdown. If it wasn't President Trump in, do you think we even have a shutdown right now?
No, not at all. I think the Republicans would have come up with a continuing resolution and compromised. You're 100% right. If it was the Democrats in control, which kind of it is, but if they were in the White House,
and
certainly.
The things they're asking for go against what the American people voted for. And I kind of commend the president for not bending, because if you don't bend, the policies that they get in, the American people feel betrayed. I feel like it's that simple. And I don't, but,
really is.
And do you think this will affect them? Is it too far out to hurt them in the midterms? Can they, because this isn't going to last forever.
Well, the unfortunate thing that we never consider is the way in which the media spins it. Well, we do consider it, but I think fundamentally this shouldn't hurt them at all. I actually think it should help them, because we haven't seen an effect from the shutdown. The media is trying to make it something bigger than it is. For example, the military's not going to get paid. And then Hegseth says, I'm going to do everything in my power. I'll find the money.
I believe Trump, the administration freed up resources to pay the military. I think the other thing was the TSA agents aren't going to get paid. So all the airports are going to be shut down.
Exactly. And that didn't happen. No. So it's kind of interesting that they keep trying to create this catastrophe that hasn't happened. And I think the lion's share of Americans don't even realize the government is shut down right now.
No, because they're living their lives. And I think, if I could ask your wife this question, he's obviously knee deep in the political spectrum. He's in it. And you come up with someone who's not you've got a million other things going on. So maybe you're not as dug in deep, to where everything's political. Yeah. And running a business, raising the kids, all that kind of stuff. How much of the impact of the rhetoric do you see spilling every day? Because California is tough right now. because of all the issues with Newsom and whatnot. How much do you see this diverse, the division in everyday life? Are you seeing it? Is it prevalent at the restaurant?
I'm not seeing it at all.
See,
Like,
that's my point.
if there wasn't, the media, the shutdown, blah, 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 I would have no idea. If they never told us, I'd have no idea, right? Yeah. I mean, we're living our lives every day. It's the same, maybe better. I don't know.
I think it's, and again, by no means was I saying you're not informed. I'm saying that you are doing normal.
He knows way more.
Yeah, he knows more than I do. I don't even try to pretend it. Yeah.
He keeps me up to date.
Well, it's inside baseball. So it's like, but I think that's a great point to ask her that, because as she goes through it, and then before I give her the inside baseball, like, it's just the general perspective on the way in which your day-to-day life is working. And yeah, I mean, like, we've got issues here in California by virtue of the economy and gas prices and regulations, but that has nothing to do with the sky is falling approach that we hear about from the propaganda legacy media.
Like, I grew up in California. Gas has always been high for some reason. Yeah. Like, we always seem to get screwed on stuff. I remember one of the most frustrating things was when they put that 100% tax at the DMV. So, like, it would cost you, like, when you're registering a car or you were, like, paying for your tag or whatever the deal was, it would be double. So a lot of us couldn't afford to get, like, our tags and license renewed because it was too expensive. And I remember Schwarzenegger came in, and that's the first thing he did was he got rid of it. So, like, California's always kind of had these flaws, but I guess the other side of California was the place where there was the greatest opportunity to change your life. And I'm not sure that it's still that place anymore. I think that's what concerns me a little bit, is I no longer see people like, I'm going to California because I'm going to chase my dream, because dreams get made true. It's like California was America's Disneyland. It's like you didn't want to you go to California to discover yourself or chase your dreams, start your business, become an actor, performer, whatever it is that you wanted to do. California was the land for that. And I think that's gotten lost in all this. Would you agree with that?
I agree with that. Lauren, though, see, I'm a Jersey boy. Yeah. She grew up here, so she can really speak on kind of the evolution.
I mean, I think I'm fortunate in the sense that I grew up in Huntington Beach, so I've been here my entire life. I haven't really seen anything too crazy, too much of a shift, right? Huntington Beach is great. And it is true. I don't hear a lot of people saying I'm moving to California. It's usually the opposite. They're getting out of here.
Right. And that's because it used to be you didn't mind the high cost of living because it was a chance to make money, to make generational wealth in California. But hopefully that will change, because the way the United States works, it's like peaks and valleys and a lot of reconnects. And hey, man, I really appreciate you taking the time. It was nice to meet you. And again, let's think about that Tyrus chicken surprise we're working on. But man, thank you guys so much. And you have a podcast, don't you?
Yep. So that we launched our podcast on iHeartMedia. It's under the Clay and Buck Network. So it's called American Gravy. New episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. You can get it on Apple, iTunes, anywhere you listen to your podcast, Spotify, etc. And it's like 30 to 35 minutes of us just telling stories, shooting the shiz, and talking food, family, freedom. Mothering.
Anytime you want to have the pie debate, I'm happy to come on.
We had it.
Please, we just had it yesterday.
I have to listen to it. I hope.
And Tyrus,
I hope Ty's won.
I'm about to get on a plane right now, so I might. Will I see you tomorrow?
What's tomorrow?
Friday.
No, you're carrying the load for me. I'm going to go watch my daughter jump.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, congrats. I've been following all of that. So.
Oh, thank you, man. Between my son's baseball and my daughter's horse jumping. I ain't been home in weeks, but it's worth the experience. But appreciate y'all. Y'all be safe out there and continue to grow, and good luck with all your adventures. And you're on Gutfeld pretty much at least a couple times a month now. So, I'm sure we'll cross paths soon.
Excellent.
Appreciate y'all. All right, cool. Is there any chance to get some water? Oh, well, cool. Can I still get some water?
Yes, you can.
What it is, we are back. Tyrus filling in for the great Will Cain. Is he great? Yeah, he's great. He's a cool dude. Although I don't really care for his choices in sports teams. But hey, I'm excited for a whole other season of the NBA to start up and for him to get his heart broken by his Mavericks again. So, but without further ado, I'm very excited to have Aaron Berg on. And then you got you're pretty accomplished dude here, man. Comedian, star of Con Jobs, co-host of the SDR show, and Modern Day Man, which is on X. And then, of course, you can check him out at 2 A's, RON, Berg at Comedy. And that's on X, right? That's it.
AaronBerg.com or Aaron Berg Comedy on X. You got it.
All right, man. So let's just get right into it. Like, we were talking before the break even started. Like, do you have kids?
One kid, a daughter. She's a girl.
Okay, yeah, I have 6.
Wow.
Yeah. 4 from me, and then 2 I took on when I got married. So I got 6. I got three boys and 3 girls, and one of my youngest jumps horses. So I'm always doing the dad worrying about his daughter thing. But this bothers me. This chat GPT thing is looking to roll out erotica as if lonely guys need another avenue to continue to stay lonely. Yeah. And then they're like, well, once age verification hits, do we have some information on that we could roll real quick?
We just have something pop up on the screen. It's just Sam Altman says ChatGPT will soon sext with verified adults.
Sexting with verified adults, just what the world needs.
There's already so many problems with kids getting lured in by these sickos. I don't let my kid play Roblox without blocks on it.
You cannot. I used to, one of the things that I do is I play games with my kids. They have to play with me. Yeah. You know, like I do Fortnite with my son and stuff. But when Roblox first came out, I made the character with them and we'd all get on because you could play all the different games. Yeah. And then I just noticed that I was getting a lot of DMs because for some reason they thought I was a 12-year-old. Yeah.
I mean, you would look at it if you shaved.
I didn't do the, I just did the thing with my kids, and I was like, how are these dudes getting in here? And then I see them in the thing, and it was like they would offer trades. They would offer the kids like a fancy toy or something, and they would start talking to them and asking for pictures and stuff. So I deleted that for a long time ago.
It's the creepiest thing around. The internet is so creepy for kids. When we grew up, the only creepy thing was a guy in a van.
Yeah, but you knew to avoid him, or like it was every Halloween. There was the one house you didn't go because he gave wine coolers and the king size Snicker bars. You didn't go there, or if you went, you had to be quick. Yeah, the fastest kids went. Because when we were coming up,
get out.
Yeah, when we were coming up, the dumb ones didn't make it.
No,
you know what I'm saying? It was
they got,
and then there was that awkward thing on a school bus, like, "Hey, how was your Halloween?"
I don't want to talk about.
You don't want to talk about. So it's not like that anymore. Now that the old man is pretending to be one of their peers on the net, I personally can't get more disgusted with Facebooks and all these social media things that they come up with these bullshit fixes, like, oh, we're going to do age verification. And I want to get your thoughts on this. As a dad, I always thought there's only one way to stop this. Every account, you have to have an ID to do it. Sure. So therefore, the sex trafficking is gone because no one's going to sex traffic with their own information. You got to have an ID to vote. You have an ID to drive a car. I think you should have to have not to have an ID to have a social media account. Because then but that's the problem. All the fake accounts go away. Yeah. And they lose billions.
And do you know how many people you and I would be able to fight if we knew exactly who was trolling us?
Yeah. Or you would stop the fake accounts. Yeah. I cannot tell you how many my silver-haired foxes, my base, which is anywhere from 75 to 110, are sending $200 to struggling Tyrus who's trying to escape his wife. Yeah. And it's like, how is this possible? I probably get mimicked online. Every week I'll have like 20 more pop up, and I'm always calling, then they have to put them out. And I'm just so curious to how they're able to do that. Like, Facebook knows that when they look at these programs and stuff and they see people taking money, and I feel for a long time, as long as it was a conservative person that was doing it, that they didn't have a problem with it. Because if you imitate someone that's on the side, it goes away. And it hurt a lot of people.
There should be a thing where it's like you're pretending to be somebody else. It should be like in real life where you can sue these people, or they have
sue Facebook. Yeah. Like someone pretends to be me. They were doing fake stand-up shows for me. People were buying tickets. And then some of it's personal responsibility because like I don't have an Indian accent. So when you call me on the phone and you talk to me and I have an Indian accent, there should be some red flags. Yeah. Or I'm asking to borrow money and I'm on national television every week.
You're really making me want to do you in an Indian accent, right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, it just absolutely blows my mind when I see some of these impersonators But the AI is getting pretty good.
Yeah,
they keep
really good. That six-finger giveaway, you can't always look for the six fingers.
No, and they took probably it was funny because I have a Gen X sense of humor.
Yeah,
but they were like Tyrus and wife adopts child with autism, right?
Okay.
In the picture, and the kid's face is sad, and he had a shirt on that said autism. What orphanage, in their right mind, would they label each kid's issue on a shirt?
They got to remake like Annie Fibber. For a second time with just Annie with autism and an Autism Annie shirt on.
Yeah, it's like it just blows my mind the stuff that they come up with. But again, you really can't be surprised because speaking of age verification, Hakeem Jeffries just channeled his inner Dr. Seuss.
Oh yeah.
Do we have that?
House Republicans shut the government down. Then they ran out of town. And for the last 3 weeks, they're nowhere to be found.
Wow. Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Whom is he talking to? What voting?
That's the base.
That's the base?
Yeah.
Who they don't like Dr. Seuss anyway. They said he was racist.
Yeah, but when Hakeem Jeffries does it, it's super woke Dr. Seuss now.
Yeah, it didn't even work. He forgot his lines.
I am a Democrat. Most of our women's are fat. You can tell by their pink hat. When it comes to politics, I am a rat. If you don't believe me, verify my voting record and it will tell you that.
That was too clever.
It was pretty smart.
Yeah, that was pretty good. See, you're already out.
I'm educated.
Like, I would not have dinner with President Trump in a box. I will not wear my socks.
I will not eat locks.
I don't pee standing up because my pronouns don't dictate that. That didn't even rhyme, but that's who they are.
Why is it so stupid what's happening on the left? Why?
I keep racking my brain because I don't think the people that we see on television represent real Democrats. I think
But you see them on the streets of New York.
But you always go to interview. If someone is available for an interview in the middle of the day, chances are their life's not going. They're not at work. They're
Tyrus,
not at school.
I'm here now.
You're working. If you were just hanging out with a fur coat on the corner, I probably would have said, "Hey, security, you see that? There's a weird dude with a fur coat."
That was Times Square in the 80s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you were still working then.
Yeah,
just different product.
Yeah,
you weren't dropping knowledge. I just feel like whenever they pick people to interview, it's always the ones who are available or so uninformed that when they talk, you're like, wow, like that's terrible. But that doesn't excuse the politician.
No.
Like who's coming out like Hakeem Jeffries, that is the message you want to send to the American people. The reason why we're having a shutdown is because you rhymed a horrible version. I'm trying not to cuss. Yeah. A horrible version of it's another thing. What was it? Letitia, the one that's in trouble who got busted for doing the crime that's trying to accuse President Trump. Yeah. She was at a speech where she started going, huh, and they're trying to get me, huh, and we're not going down, huh. And I was like, who is teaching these speech classes?
Maybe she has asthma.
No, it's possible.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying she was literally doing they got to come get us all. That made me laugh. Like, wait a minute, you think everyone's going to jail with you?
Yeah.
I noticed the claps weren't that, and that's another thing too. Even when he was doing that, when you heard Hakeem go, and you're a performer, when you say something and you can point out who's clapping, that's not a good thing.
You remember the old, please clap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Help me out. It was like,
you do stand up. You know how sad it would be if you did like one of those big, long, wordy closers.
Took them through a long trip.
Absolute silence.
Hit the punchline and you hear, and then you hear someone ordering a drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's basically what, but it's not, it blows my mind that these people vote for these individuals because when you hear them speak, that's the biggest thing for me. If a guy can't communicate his message, you're wasting my time.
You could get away with so much smoke and mirrors if you're well spoken.
Yes.
You could lie to the people so smoothly.
At least con me, give me something.
Exactly.
And well, you know what though? But speaking of con, Mandami's kind of doing that.
Oh,
he's kind of, he's putting some stuff out there. He wants free buses to combat assaults.
Sure.
Yeah, that always works.
Yeah.
That's like putting you got the cut?
I think it's one of the key reasons why we have to make buses free is because it reduces the assaults on bus drivers. It creates a safer work environment.
I had a hard time drinking my water. It creates a safe work environment when you give things away for free.
Yeah.
Because free things always work out.
When I think about free things and safety, I think about riots. Those are very safe when you just go into a Best Buy and
Yes.
take a bunch of televisions. Safe. People that ride the bus, paying for the bus is not the issue.
No.
It's the mental illness that's gotten you on the bus.
It's the assault on the bus.
Yeah.
Being stabbed on the bus, being thrown in the subway. It's not the ticket that's the problem.
No. And by the way, I've seen some bus drivers in the Bronx that whoop butt. Have you seen the videos of bus drivers just beating
Listen,
the crap
I
out
took
of people?
the bus to school when I was a kid. I never thought about trying my bus driver.
No.
No one tried her.
No.
The last thing you want to do is get, hey, she was about a deuce and a quarter, about 6'4". Had her little hair done.
Yeah.
And when she was like, hey, quit talking. Nobody
quit
talked.
Yeah.
And I was the last kid that got dropped off on the bus, and I was always like, morning, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And like every once in a while, she would drop me off like right by my house. She's like, I'll drop you off, baby. But no one ever thought about, I think we had one kid who said like, I don't have to listen to you. And she just pulled, here's, get out from my bus.
Yeah.
Here's a pink slip. You didn't want that pink slip.
No.
That was back when parenting had consequences.
I remember
You
that.
bring a pink slip home on the bus, you get in your ass. You can't sit on the seat next to you.
Mondami embraces weakness. That's the whole thing about quote unquote democratic socialism. It's about weak. Give to me, I need. And you saw an example of it when he tried to press 135 and couldn't press 135.
It wasn't even 135.
Yeah. So you're talking.
It was
He
two
had
35s. Yeah, it was embarrassing.
2 35s. So we work out. That's 70 plus the barbell. That's 115.
He should be able to. But here's the thing: he didn't even have the common sense to be like, "Hey, he had never benched a day in his life."
Who doesn't bench?
He doesn't have to. He has there's silver spoons and there's gold spoons. He had a gold spoon in his mouth. He had never. When he did it, the guy spotting him, I was more upset about.
Yeah.
Because we have rules. If a guy comes in, when I trained at Hard Knocks South, and I was there forever, and I still train. If you put some heavy weights on there, and the guy's like, "Oh, let me get it, let me hop in a set,"
Yeah.
and he get it up, I would let him sit there for a while.
Yeah.
Not to the point where he's having a cardiac arrest because his chest is, but long enough for the.
To
I'm
realize
like,
you can't
you
do
made a
this.
mistake.
You're out of your
There's
league.
a pecking order there.
This is how we spot. Jersey barbell, where I go.
Yeah, you get
finger.
one finger. Yeah,
You get
if
finger.
we got to pull you,
Yep.
you're gonna go through it.
Yeah.
Because it's always, and the excuse is like, you struggling like that does more for you than just pulling it off you. No, it's just for me to look over at the guy like, why is this guy on this bench? Just go over there. But then the thing, even doing 2 fingers, those aren't the fingers I want to give him. Because I think one of the things he talked about was, and correct me guys if I'm wrong, 50%, if you make $1 million a year, it's like he wants 50%. Is that true? Or some, it was some crazy.
Look it up.
It was like some crazy amount of taxing, and his example was, if you're a millionaire or you're successful and we take more from you, it's better for you because the environment you live in will be better. They already have a better environment.
Yeah, that's what money buys you.
Yeah.
Money is happiness coupons.
Yes, or it's a lot of fake friends.
Yeah.
A lot of more money, more problems, and there's nothing worse than making more money and having Mandani saying he wants half.
Yeah.
So he can open up free stores
And pay for
free
the
buses.
stabbings on the buses.
Yeah, because the violence will be on hand. Did we ever find out?
He wants to raise it 2% more, I think, over $1 million, exceeding $1 million, I think.
Yeah, which is still a lot. Like
It's a lot. I mean, it'll be up to 12%.
Yeah.
Which is
So
crazy.
that's, and for those of us, and if you're making a good salary and you have a wife, that's basically your money is gone because everything else is going to her.
Yep.
And then let me apparently, I'm okay with this one. Like whenever
right.
they try to bring stuff back, I'm like, it's over, let it go. Like I hate when they try to remake old movies, especially from the 90s, like when they wanted to do Roadhouse. I actually was asked to audition for that, and I was like, I want no parts. There's only one Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Yes, he had hairspray. Yes, he wore baby oil, but he was Patrick Swayze. And yes, the bad guy said the most uncomfortable thing ever in a fight that I don't think I would have went forward with the fight.
Yeah.
When they were standing in the thing and he told them that he had sex with guys who looked like him in prison, I'd have been like, this fight's over, bro. That was weird. I'm not fighting you.
No.
No. Like, what is wrong with you? I thought we were going to fight.
Yeah.
Like, you good day, sir.
Yeah, good day to
good
you,
day, sir. So they want to bring back, I guess they're called Zoomers, and they want to bring back video stores and physical media. So they want to bring back all the stuff that we had in the 90s. Do we have a clip of that?
Like, no, it's just they want to bring back Blockbuster and have the physical movies and DVDs.
So then you got to get the DVDs and the VCRs. They want to bring those back.
Exactly.
All right.
I mean, all of a sudden, Goodwill's business is going to go way up because that's where all the videos and DVDs and CDs. I don't think we got enough time with them. Like they came and went pretty quick.
Yeah, pretty quick.
You know, but I don't. And then you got to store them.
I have one DVD at my house. It's the old SCTV, the whole season of SCTV. And when I was sick for a while, I bought a tiny DVD. But you got to get them on Amazon now. They're like $9.
Yeah.
And then it was great. I loved watching it. And my only concern is like everything I need, I can find on one of the streaming platforms.
Right. So why would you? Not to mention, again, at one point, your DVD and CD collection said a lot about you.
Yeah.
Like you had to have the towers. You know, people walk in your house like, wow, this guy's got it together. Look at all those towers. He's got all the movies. He's got all the music. And then you had the 6-disc player in your car. So, you know, you could just hit
or
shuffle.
a 10-disc player.
Or if you're
VHS
really
too.
balling.
Yeah.
VHS collection was a big thing too.
Yeah, VH collect. And the worst thing with VH thing is someone lost your cover.
Yeah.
Friendships were lost if you lost my. If I lent you my WrestleMania 3 video and you didn't bring it back with the Hogan Andre standoff, our friendship's done. Like there's a level.
Yeah,
of
there's
trust
no
there.
way to store it once you lose
and then
the
you got to
box.
rebuy it.
Yeah,
and that's not and that's not cheap. Well, I guess would they be expensive now? Like, what do you guys think the going price would be? If
I would say $2 per
It's
DVD.
a novelty item. I feel like it's going to be more expensive.
I guess devil's advocate. They brought albums back, and that seems to be working.
But there's less places to make vinyl, though. That's why these days all the shops closed.
Yeah,
so it's rare.
Well, because I was on tour this week, and we went to stopped at a Cracker Barrel because I'm an investor now.
Good for you.
Yeah, that's my thing. Whenever they try to cancel something, I invest in it.
Yeah.
So because the stock drops for like that 2 weeks, I buy it all up.
Yeah.
When they was burning up Teslas and all that shit, I was like, everything on Tesla stock, and it like dropped down to like 220.
Give me them all.
Who's laughing now? Like I told people at work, I was like, yo, get Tesla stock. I made a joke about it on TV. And Greg and the whole staff are like, meh, meh, meh.
Yeah.
You know that stuff is up to like $450 now.
Wow,
crazy.
Like I was like, anytime I see any media try to cancel something, I'm buy stock in it. Just buy it up, just because it's gonna bounce back. So like now I feel like
except Bud Light,
except because they didn't correct.
That's right.
That's the difference. They try to fool us by just bringing in a comedian, and good for him, but they needed to correct.
And the military commercials they tried to do.
Yeah,
a little bit.
No. You don't mess with a man's beer, and if you do, you apologize the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't do that. I don't think. But you know what? I don't know. Would you do VCR? Would you do a VCR again? Would it have to be a classic movie?
Yeah, something
Like
Scarface,
something like
Scarface on VHS. I would watch
just so you could adjust the tracking again.
Yeah.
Like the trio of
and then remember
Godfather
when the
movies.
tape would break and you're just done. You're just done.
What else would you bring back if you could, besides movies, DVDs? Things that aren't around anymore.
Oh, you know what? I would bring kids playing outside back on the street. I would bring back street ball.
When the street lights came on, you go home.
Yeah, you go home. But I would bring back, playing baseball with a tennis ball and a stick, or I remember two-hand touch football, the cars, the touchdown, and the fights you would have where we're measuring the first down.
Yeah.
Because everyone's steps is different.
Dude, I heard Vladimir Guerrero, who was on fire against Seattle last night, used to practice with a broomstick and a bottle cap.
Every kid did.
Now, it's like Mr. Miyagi stuff.
Yeah. Well, it was called broke.
Yeah. We can't afford a ball or a bat.
But kids would find a way.
Yeah.
It was a lot cheaper to get your mom in California, Kmart's were everywhere. It was a lot cheaper to get a $4 wiffle ball and bat that came together for like $4, and then you would go outside with your friends and you would play. Like I'd like to bring back just the art of pushing to be outside, more outside activities.
I agree.
What would you guys bring back?
Ooh, I don't know. I like CDs. I loved having a CD case where you had a ton of them.
It was a
You had
status
like
symbol,
100
right?
in them.
Yeah.
And you're flipping through your car while you're driving. Like, forget texting and driving.
Yeah.
Looking
Yeah.
for a CD and driving is just as dangerous.
Well, they had I remember, one of the first trucks I ever got, and I was like into speakers.
Yeah.
And I had this thing where you put like 50 CDs in there, and it took up like the whole back of your
In the trunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you would just hit shuffle, and you could pick whatever. The problem was, like, it seemed like the same 10 always got the thing, so
Yeah.
you'd be like this, pushing, trying to impress people.
It was the original Spotify algorithm.
But then again, my entire back of my truck was all speakers.
Yeah.
Because in California, it was just all bass.
Subwoofer.
And what was the
Yeah.
playlist? A lot of Backstreet Boys, In Sync.
No, I was a big Ice Cube guy. And, and then
Old Ice
just to
Cube
be-
was good.
I still buy all this stuff when he came. Because when the NWA split happened, I went with Cube.
Yeah.
So, and everybody else kind of went with NWA because
Yeah.
they were the sexier group. But once you heard their albums without Cube, because I look back at now and I was like, this dude doesn't get enough credit for the genius he was. How are you that young and not signed?
I know.
Because I remember the first time I was ever offered a contract, I didn't even read it. I was just excited to get a paycheck.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll figure the rest out.
Yeah.
You know, because you just want the job. Because if you're afraid if you say no, they're going to give it to somebody else.
Yeah.
So for him to be that young and be like, nah, I ain't signing nothing. So he was never in NWA. It was always NWA featuring Ice Cube.
Yeah.
So it means he kept his publishing, he kept his music, and when he left, it all went with him.
Yeah.
They couldn't get their hands on it, and to be that young and to make those kind of decisions, like that was. And he doesn't get enough credit as a lyricist. Like he did it his way, and I think it's funny that when people do it their way, they build their own production companies and they don't do the mainstream. How they spend so much time trying to shut them down.
Yeah. And it takes longer, but it pays off in the long run.
Yeah, because whenever he has a new thing out, it's always like he's got to do it himself. You never see any of the big record companies ever want to like work with him or collab on anything
Right.
because he's bad for business.
Yeah.
Same thing with like if you don't do your specials through Netflix, you know, like you do your like I built my stuff from the ground up because nobody wanted me on because I was on Fox.
Yeah.
So I was like, fine, I'll build my own thing. Now I have my tour is so successful when I do get asked to do comedy clubs and stuff. I'm like, no, one, you don't have a big enough room, and two, you don't pay enough.
Yeah.
Like I do mine with a 2-man crew. My wife books my stuff, so I don't need any of you.
Yeah.
And I keep all the money. Like, so it's a nice thing when you bet on yourself, but they do make it hard.
Yeah, they do.
What about toys? What toy would you bring back?
Wrestling dolls.
Wrestling dolls. Absolutely.
Which version?
The old
rubber
Hulk Hogan.
ones? The old ones
The
where they're
rubber
stuck in the-
ones where the ring was kind of hard
Yeah.
and the ropes were kind of real.
Agreed.
Now, see, I used that ring, but I used G.I. Joe guys because they were posable.
Okay.
The problem with the wrestling figures back then is like Hogan was cool
Yeah.
because he was set for action. But like my favorite wrestler was Mr. Wonderful, and he was stuck in the double pie. Can't wrestle like that.
No.
Put someone over your head.
Yeah, but that's it. You
Yeah.
can't keep pressing the guy the whole time. So any of the wrestlers that had their like Beefcake had his hands like
Yeah.
Valentine, and then like my favorite guys were always like that, and I was like,
What was Andre like? Just arms down?
he was in a fighting position.
Was
They
he?
knew better.
Yeah.
They didn't want no smoke.
Undertaker didn't stand.
lady.
Yeah. Well, we didn't have Andre was a badass.
Yeah.
My son's grandfather, speaking of wrestling, I'll call you later, Trevor. Grandfather was Haku.
Wow.
Is Haku. And they were tag team champions together. And they traveled together up
Yeah.
and down the road. And Andre did not he ruled with an iron fist. Like I would hear some of the stories. I felt so bad for Big John Studd. And especially Big John Studd was not a small guy. He's
No.
6'10", and he would have to run for his life because they started telling him to call himself the Giant.
Yeah.
And it pissed Andre off. There's only one Giant, so he would beat the hell out of him. He didn't like the Sheik either, so he would beat. Like he handled it. He just get in the ring and just murder you.
Yeah.
And then you would be like, my favorite match when they were a tag team. They decided to tell Andre and Haku that they had to drop the belts to the Rockers. Andre didn't want to drop the belt to the Rockers.
Yeah.
He said flies. When he didn't like somebody, he called you a fly. You
Yeah.
did not want to be called a fly by Andre. And he went out there, and I Googled it, Rockers versus the Colossal Connection for the Tag Team Championship. And Andre just destroyed him. He just was sitting. It was even as a child, I was like, man, I don't think the Rockers deserve that.
Yeah.
Like, it was bad. And when Haku's the nice guy, when King Haku's the nice guy, it's a problem. But he he doesn't get. I wish they would tell his story a little different. The documentary was really cool on him, but they didn't really interview the people like he traveled with, like the people who like knew him dearly.
How would he fly? You're not sitting in coach. Could he even fit?
There's
in
picture. He
first
was fly
class?
first class, but like he had to have an extender seatbelt, and his it depended on Gruel and Monsoon's mood that day, how tall he was. Some days he was 7'4".
Yeah.
Some days he was 7 feet. I think Big Show might have been a little taller. I'm not 100% sure, but I know back then everything was bigger than life, and you didn't have the internet to check it.
Yeah.
So he clearly was a giant, but brute strength wise. He was one of the like strongest guys you ever, and he would just casually walk around at 500 pounds. That's hard to move around.
Yeah.
So I would like, you know what? I'd like them to bring back. I'd like them to bring back the G.I. Joe. I'd like to see, because they had the best like ships and stuff. Like I remember as a kid, they were too expensive. You could never get them, but I'd like to see them to bring back that stuff. I still collect it. That's something me and my son do together.
Legos came back though.
Legos came back. Did Legos ever go away?
Did they go away? Yeah, you're right.
I don't think they ever went away.
No.
I think they went through some weird phases.
They're popular now.
They got more intricate though.
Yeah. Well, the problem is like it became okay to be an adult.
Yeah.
And play with Legos, because for a while it was like you had to be in the Lego closet.
If you have a Lego, if you have a Lego room as an adult, yeah.
But you had to have like this is Mount Rushmore I built with my Lego. It couldn't be like, oh, this is my Lego world with my cool Corvette, and like you had to
Death Star.
My dinosaur. Yeah. Although those are tough because you have to build them for your kids.
Yeah.
I actually got the Death Star for my son Rock for Christmas.
It's hard.
That's the only thing I've ever tapped out on. I absolutely tapped out on it. I was
Death
like,
Star got you.
I was like, it never ended.
Yeah.
It never.
Wow.
Like, hey, look, let's just have it like this is the one like Luke blew up. Let's just have it that one, right? Because it was
pieces of Lego.
It was just
trailing out to the bathroom.
They are not kind with those because my job is always to put everything together.
Yeah.
And
you'll lose pieces.
Yeah. Well, not just that, but it's just you're looking at the directions, and like sometimes I think it's just too intricate. Lego was different when I was young. You got like
just the big blocks.
Just the big blocks.
They're
Every
all the
little
same size.
Yeah. It's gray. It's like the worst color. Hits the carpet. It's gone.
Yep.
Or
the dog comes in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, where's all these pieces gone?
And then it just poops it out all over your house.
All right.
What I do hope goes away is slime.
Yeah, slime is the worst. It'll
Slime
ruin
is-
your couch. It'll ruin your rugs. It'll
Kids
ruin
play
your
with that?
marriage.
Your marriage. Yeah, I've been yelled at more times than because I'm like, oh, let's make slime. This is fun. But I don't clean up well.
Yeah.
That was the Nickelodeon generation too.
But that slime was different.
Yeah, true.
It fell on your head. It didn't. But I accidentally got it in my daughter's hair. Like we were messing around.
boy.
I was in the bathroom like frantically with Johnson & Johnson trying to get out. We're okay, sweetheart.
We gotta
We're okay.
cut it.
Don't tell
We
mom.
gotta cut it.
Don't tell mom. And we did. I didn't have to cut it because and then her mom was like, "The hell?" And I was like, I couldn't blame her.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to take the rap either.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I was like, it was a freak accident.
Some stranger came by and slimed her from Nickelodeon.
Yeah, we're gonna get that. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. And my dad was like, "No, Daddy threw slime at me," and I was like, "For real?"
Snitch.
Yeah. It's not like I said. I don't want my kids to lie, but have Dad's back just a scotch. I'm not saying you got to create a whole story.
My daughter's mostly just American Girl dolls, and then I played.
Those are still around?
Yeah, there's a store like around
Really?
the corner. We went through that. Phase. It didn't last long. LPS was my daughter's favorite. The little pets shop.
Little Pony Princess.
There's a little pet shop. It's like little different animals, and then what's cool is my daughter was in the Jurassic Park with me. So I would buy all the Jurassic Park stuff, and she's still 11 years old. The jacuzzi is still full of mesosaurs and stuff. Like you don't want to go out there with her because you'll have her little girlfriends that she's playing with. They'll bring out their little dolls and stuff, and then my daughter away from them. Then boom, I'm like, that's my girl. So I like I don't think any other old toys we need to bring back. I'm trying to think. Transformers were too complicated back then.
Yep.
You couldn't play with them.
Now they're automatic.
Yeah, I saw those, but they're like
Crazy.
$1,500.
Yeah.
They're called something different. They swim against girls now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna let those ones go by the wayside. I think
Yeah,
we let.
I think we'll.
I think we're done. I think we're done with those. Drive-in theaters.
Yeah. Love a drive-in theater.
Back that.
I would go to the drive-in theater.
Back that.
Old video games, you can get those still, like
Yeah.
a Sega Genesis or like all
I
the
still play
old
N64.
Do you really?
I still play GoldenEye.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got a refurbished one. It's great.
That's the one thing. My PlayStation. Every time it evolved, I went with it.
Yeah.
you know. And now I'm, you know, right after this, I got an appointment with my son because we got there's a new island up on Blitz, so we're gonna go handle that business, get our crowns. But it's funny because women don't understand video games for men at all.
No.
Like this is what keeps us from being gladiators. You know, like we need competition without going out in the street. And getting
I have a question. So I just got married last year.
Oh, congratulations!
But how do I, you know, set the precedent early in the marriage for video
just
games?
lay down the gauntlet.
Just do it.
He's lying to you. You have to pick your spots.
Okay.
You got to play games when she's busy.
Got it.
Because I'm telling you right now.
I do. I hide.
Yeah.
I go to the basement and I hide.
He set you up for failure.
Yeah.
I know.
I'll tell you right now. You come home after a family meal.
Aaron Berg's the reason I'm already divorced.
Yeah.
And then you like, oh man, let me get this game out and play the new Battlefront. Your wife is going to look at you.
10 hours later.
You've
pretend
lost your
I'm
life.
doing laundry in the
Yeah.
basement, and then I'll come up with a basket. And be
Yeah.
like, okay.
Like you got to like, a good thing is like, hey, it's a good night to go out with your girlfriends. I'll just stay at the house. I'll watch the kids.
Yeah.
And then you can get your 4 hours in.
Oh, it's such a nice night.
Or you play your
just stay
NBA
home on the
season.
couch, play video games.
Or like some of us, keep it in your office.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
They're like, hey, what's going on? I'm researching
Yeah.
Yeah.
with my buddy in Vietnam right now. We're trying to.
I just say me and Will are doing a new segment on video games. I have to play. Sorry.
Yeah, it's like, hey, but it's your office.
Yeah.
That's where you're still the king.
That's true.
So, you know, if you don't have an office here, there's so many, like, bro, feel free. Like, just plug it up there, you know, get a few games in.
Boom.
It's better than you losing it.
Why are you working so late?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, man. You wouldn't believe this.
Not cheating.
Because what happens is if you keep playing the game in front of her, you will come home and your game will come up missing.
Yeah.
They'll take the joysticks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of my joysticks, I went to pick them up and I'm like, it feels like there's water in these things. And I'm like, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
And you can't, and they're wireless now. So it's not like Nintendo where you could just and fix everything. No. Like the new stuff, when it's wet, it's done.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
Good luck to you.
She's not a big fan of it.
Or,
so.
I would say try to get her to play with you. But
I
then,
did try that.
But then you end up yelling at her.
It's like golfing with your wife.
Yes.
Yeah, you end up yelling at her. Like, come on, press B, press. God.
No, the
if
other
it was
B.
your boy, like, man, just sit this.
Yeah.
You can't use a sniper there.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. Like, you know what? Forget it.
It's like, wait, did I do good? No, you just shot your teammate. Sorry.
Yeah. Like, watch my back.
Yeah.
Don't run off. Why are you running off? I don't know how to
That's
do
a
it. How do I
grenade.
do this? I'm like, oh man, this
Honey,
is my
that's
nightmare.
not a grenade. We're playing fishing.
Yeah, this is not my. It's not. But then again, they do things that you don't want to be a part of, like argue with their fake friends on Facebook and tell each other they look pretty when they really don't think they do.
Right.
So it's a good change up. But you just gotta get your spots in, and make sure you have a big enough memory card to save it all, because you're gonna have to turn it off in a second.
Do you have the thing that you can travel with, the PlayStation?
I did, and then I had to give it up.
Oh, okay.
Because I was, go to sleep. Stop playing your games. So, because I got to get the 8 hours in now. Once you turn 50, you got to get the 8 hours.
I'm not. I'm getting 6.
And speaking of 8 hours, I hear the music. Well, Will, hopefully you'll have a show to return to. And good music choice. Didn't expect that from him. You guys must have done it.
Nice.
All right, this has been Tyrus.
Aaron Berg joining.
Enough said.